Hello everybody, just before we get this video started, I wanted to mention a few things. Number one, thank you for CheesyHfj to do this interview with me. Number two, make sure to go subscribe to his channel, and then subscribe to mine. Pretty cool content. One is a really good show. Go watch it. Season 2 is going to come out tomorrow. And then also today will be my one analysis video that I'm really excited to upload. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this stupid little interview. Maybe we'll do it again. I don't know. Freaking probably not. Cheesy probably doesn't like me anymore. Alright, see you. Hello. This is, I'm gonna interview CheesyHfj. You might know him. He's the creator of One. So I guess I don't really have anything else to specifically say. So yeah, I guess you could just introduce yourself.
Alright, hi. I'm Isaac, CheesyHfj on YouTube. I make One. I'm releasing the new batch of 9 episodes for One really soon, like 2 days. Excited, and yeah, I made that thing. Make stuff.
Yeah, you make this thing.
I can make things.
Alright, well I guess we gotta start with question 1. Well, is Eri evil? Eri evil?
I guess could you elaborate on that what you consider evil?
Like how, well, somebody who like does things for the pleasure of like with like the idea of hurting people or wanting to, or at least, you know, physically damage them or physically mentally damage them in a way that they would never be the same afterwards.
Right. Is Eri evil? I guess with that, it's kind of hard to talk about Eri's motivations right now because you know, it's very you know, the show ain't over yet, and so I can't really comment a whole lot on Eri's evilness, but in terms of his character, I think he's very interesting, very complex. And yeah, I can't really comment on that one too much. It's very plot dependent.
Yeah. All right. What happened to Eri in episode 8?
I cannot comment on either. That is another plot heavy thing.
All right. Who was the toothpaste from episode 6?
Can't comment on that either.
Oh my gosh.
These are all stuff. These are all stuff that are still in the story. You know, I can't give it away yet. What's the other question? What was the other question you said you had 4?
Who's Eri?
Yeah. You see, I mean, like, you know, this is like with the plot heavy stuff, you know, it's kind of hard to give answers just because it is like there's still a whole other 9 episodes that haven't even been released yet. Sorry, I can't really give answers to those.
I could try and find some more.
I mean, if you want to, but yeah, but those kinds of questions, those will be revealed in time.
Okay.
While I'm here, if you do have any other non-plot related One questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah. How do you feel about the season 2 production? Like, how do you feel about it?
I'd say Well, okay, so I can talk about this. Or I'll just call it season two. Season two production, I approached very, very differently from how I did it with season one. Season one, I kind of just did everything on an episode by episode basis. You know, I got all the writing done for the first episode, and then did all the voice acting, did all the audio, did all the animation, edited it. That's done, and then do the same thing over for the second episode. But around episode, I think I started doing this episode four, 4 and 5. I bunched those two together, and so basically, I wrote both of those episodes together, 4 and 5 together. I asked the voice actors to do all their stuff for both of those episodes together, and then basically, yeah, from that point, I'll do the animation for 4, then release it, and then do all the animation for 5, and then release it. And it made it a lot more, I think, efficient. Made it a lot more efficient in the long run. And so I did the same thing with 6 and 7, and I think 8 and 9 were kind of their own separate thing. But for season 2, I kind of had a thought where it's like, okay, well, doing 2 episodes at the same time was pretty efficient, so might as well just do the whole season that way. So as you can see, the upload schedule for season 2 is pretty tight. There is absolutely no freaking way I could start episode 10 or whatever and do every single thing with that episode in 11 days and release it and then move on to the next one. That's just not possible. So basically, ever since I think October 2021, I've been working on season 2 since then. And so I did this thing where I did all of the writing for the entire series in one big thing. So as of right now, the entirety of the rest of the show is completely written out. And the voice acting is the same. All the voice acting for every single episode is done. Almost every single thing of audio is done for every episode. I haven't done the last one yet. But, kind of doing these big sweeping kind of things across the whole season, I think has made things a bit more efficient. And so at this point, really, most of the work I have to do now, at this point, is all visual, backgrounds, character designs, animation, editing, stuff like that. And so that's really what I'm going to be working on for the duration of this summer. It's just that stuff. And hopefully I will be able to finish without any delays and stuff.
Nice. So I heard, the new assets I saw in your one teaser video, those are basically canon now. Those are going to be used. Could you describe why they were, why the old assets aren't used anymore?
I think, honestly, it's just kind of a, I guess you could just call it a personal preference thing.
Your mic isn't working anymore.
Okay.
There we go.
Gosh, that was freaking weird. What was the last thing I said? The last thing you heard me say?
Personal preference.
Wow. Okay. I was talking the whole time. Okay. Well, I guess to expedite, I was kind of rambling a little bit, but you know, I guess I never really considered myself a super great asset designer. Um, and it's very helpful to have other people's input on it. And I think overall, I prefer the newer ones. Mostly, I mean, I guess that's just because of my own personal gripes with the older ones, because they are. I mean, at this point, they're 2.5 years old. Um, and so I think it just makes everything a little bit more clean. I've never really thought about the assets having like a super distinct, like, I mean, I guess you could say it's a style, but it's just like I never really thought them as particularly spectacular. Um, and I think, and I guess too, the assets kind of make a good like distinguishing line. Like, oh yeah, these episode 9 is very different from episode 10. Like, this is a new batch, I guess, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess I haven't really put a lot of thought into the asset stuff, mostly just because I'm not like a super. I don't care a whole lot about visuals, honestly. Um, I just like I just do what I need to do to get my story across.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way of thinking about it. Okay. Last unimportant question, because I'm finishing up with some lore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or finishing up like the questions, the actual good questions. When did production for one kind of like start, and like when did the story in your mind start to become a thing?
Yeah. Okay. Um, so the idea of one started pretty long time ago. I want to say it was the summer of 2019. So it's about pretty much a year before the first episode released was when I first had the idea. Um, and really, I just come off the heels of being an organizer for OSO, and that was especially on the latter end, it was an incredibly stressful time. Um, can't say I enjoyed it very much. Um, and I think the idea of one kind of came from this kind of this like desire within me to be kind of like contrarian and like kind of go against all this stuff of
Yeah.
object shows like beforehand. Um, and originally, I've looked back at like my really old notes for it, and they are way more like stereotypical than it is now. Like, I've had a lot more room to flesh it out, which I'm very happy about. But
Yeah.
it was kind of just this little seedling of an idea of like, oh, like what if people on the show like really don't want to be there? And that was kind of like the crux of it, and all the wacky weird characters kind of came from that too. And I've always been a super big fan of like the concept of like an all-knowing creature or being that just can't like explain it to anyone. I always thought that was a little funny concept. But yeah, the idea from that came from the summer, and I think the next like 6 months after that was kind of slowly chipping away, like, oh, I'd make an asset here, asset there. And I don't think I really started dedicating myself to the show until around like 4 months, 3 or 4 months before the first episode, around like February. And that's when I really started kind of getting the ball rolling.
Because I remember, I remember like seeing like little hints from Battle for Circle, like there was like this scene where like it was where all of the votes were like just the number 1 to the trillionth digit. Yeah.
Oh, that was not intentional at all.
Oh, really?
That was
and then
no that.
And then circle with the mole. Was that? Did that have like when circle of a mole was a thing? Like did you was that kind of like the point where like you were like locking in this idea?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the funny thing with that is that like I had made like the stupid little circle with a mole thing. I think before I even had the idea of one,
Really?
or maybe I didn't. I honestly can't remember, but I do remember at a certain point I was doing Battle for Circle stuff still, and I was like, you know what? We'll just do something funny with the circle with a mole guy. And then I had this devious little idea. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just put him in the freaking show? The dumbest thing ever. And so I made that thing where Circle with the Mole's like running super fast and he disappears out of nowhere with the full intention that he would come back later. That was completely planned out, and it's super stupid, but I thought it was freaking hilarious at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling off about these stuff because I don't know. Because I'm just interested by this. There was like really different. It was like there was 2 different like voices. So like like everybody else, and then Circle with the Mole. Everybody else had like a very like higher voice, and then once Circle with the Mole was introduced, it was like a lower voice that really caught me off guard. Did somebody else do the other circles, or like?
No, that's all me.
Could you?
Yeah.
Could you do the? Never mind. Okay, now we're gonna get into the actual stuff. Okay. So, could you describe Abstracti? Like describe him?
I guess so. Like visually, or like concept wise.
Concept, character wise, what is his purpose of the show?
So, I guess to begin, I mean, I guess for starters, Abstracti was the very last character that was created for the show, and it's actually the only character that wasn't directly my idea. That was the idea of Fish, who is no longer in the OSC, but it was her idea to kind of have this weird, abstract copycat character type deal. And it was just kind of a fun little extra thing at some point. But I knew that I wanted to kind of get rid of it early. I guess just because it was pretty difficult to animate, but also at the same time, I don't really know if I could have done anything else with it. I'm sure I could have, but it wouldn't really serve a whole lot of a purpose. So I think it did have a good little bit of foreshadowing, I guess, with Abstracti's elimination. What it is, I still can't say yet, but it will be revealed in due time. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot to Abstracti's deal, but I think it's a very interesting character.
Mm-hmm. What is Soda Bottle's real name?
Not gonna say.
Are you kidding me? I was so excited for that question.
Nope.
I'm so excited. Will that be revealed? At least.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, I was like so excited for that. Sorry, my mic just peaked probably.
No, you're good.
I didn't mean to blow your ears off.
No, you're cool. There's a lot of season 2 stuff that I think will make the community go kind of insane in the membrane. But yeah.
Okay, so could you describe Stone in a way? Could you like kind of describe him?
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I've always been really interested in these kinds of characters where, yeah, I guess it's just like I had this idea for a character that, it was just like it knew everything, but the whole irony of it is that he can't even say anything. And I thought that was super funny. Like I just thought you have this amazing, like, bountiful fountain of knowledge, and the entire time Stone is like struggling to convey any of this to anyone. Um, and so yeah, it kind of started out with this. I knew that Stone would play a very pivotal role in kind of jump starting the I guess sort of the deeper story that was going to unfold. Yeah, and so I guess, yeah, again, it's like it's that thing where like Stone really, like, he served his purpose so far really well, and I think like I did everything that I think was important to kind of give everyone the little nuggets of information. And in terms of the notes, I again can't really comment on those a whole lot. But that honestly, actually, I will say probably one of my favorite scenes that I ever did was the little after credits thing in episode 4. I thought that was a really, really cool send off for Stone.
I commissioned this guy who I don't know if you've seen, because the community is kind of like very, I don't know, I haven't seen much in terms of like YouTube related like content with one. I've seen mostly fan art, but have you ever seen ICL2? He made this analog horror of Help Me Get the Cast Off, of like when a backpack drowned.
I don't think I have.
Oh.
Say the name again.
Help Me Get the Cast Off?
No. Give me the name of the person who made it.
ICL2.
I don't see it.
I'll send you the link to the video, but I commissioned him to make me this, to make me a bunch of, like, for the video, to make a bunch of analog horror of the show, and one of the main things was the after credits scene of episode 4. And, I'll send the link to you, since it's down off Nitro, but...
Yeah. If you want a little nugget of trivia, that sort of droning sound towards the end, that like that kind of thing. It's literally, it's from this desk toy that I have. Oh, let me get it really quick. It's literally just this like big metal disc that you just like you swing around a bunch, and the whole deal about it is that it just spins for like a really long time, but like as it spins it gets faster and faster, and eventually it's just like, and I don't know, for some reason I felt compelled to just like put that in as a little like intense like sort of growing thing, and I think it worked really well. But yeah, this is a little like spin it, and so it just does that. But yeah, so that's literally just like some stupid desk toy. A lot of my sound effects are just little practical things I hit in my room.
Speaking of sound, what are your musical influences? Because I know in episode 9, if you play Scatterbrain by Radiohead, it'll match up with the thing. Was that the intention?
Yeah, for sure. Um, I really loved the I really love the concept of sort of like, because I mean, uh, actually the funny thing with that is that Scatterbrain wasn't even the first music choice. There was another um, there was another song I was thinking of doing uh, for that particular scene. Um, it's called "Nothing Man" by Pearl Jam. I was gonna do that one. Um, but I've always been like a really big fan of alt rock stuff, mostly just because my parents kind of raised me on it. Uh, Not Radiohead. I got introduced to that by a friend a while ago, but Radiohead is definitely a pretty big musical influence. Um, just because I really listen. I enjoy listening to it. I don't really make my music for the sake of like imitating a certain style or something, unless you count like the me using like the Mother 3 soundtrack for everything. That's kind of just like a whatever. I kind of just got into the habit of using it. Now I enjoy. I kind of like limiting myself to like that kind of stuff. I think it's fun. Um, but yeah, I guess if you want to talk about like musical influences, I mean, it's kind of depends. It kind of changes with each song. There's definitely there are a few songs I don't know. I might be able to pinpoint. Some of them are actually old scrapped like OSO things I did there and kind of just reworked it. A lot of the early ones are that. There's a few songs uh, where I kind of like had like I had like a pre-existing song in mind and was like, yeah, I want to try and like replicate that feeling or whatever. Um, and but yeah, I don't think there's any one particular like really big musical influence. It's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. I will say uh, if I were to list the biggest ones, um, it would definitely be Radiohead, Boards of Canada.
Boards of
Uh,
Canada.
yeah, I love Boards of Canada.
Yeah.
Um, and a little bit of Aphex Twin. I think I like the first album. I haven't really gotten super into the ones after that. Um, but that analog stuff. I've always been. What am I saying? Always. I've recently been a pretty big fan of. Um,
Analog horror. Or because I know. Sorry.
I wouldn't say analog horror necessarily. I will say if we wanna I guess switch the subject. I think um, Petscop has been a very interesting um, influence on one, kind of like subtly. Like um, like I haven't really thought about it a whole lot, but the more I like kind of pay attention, look at it, I notice a lot of similarities between one and Petscop, which is awesome because I freaking love Petscop, and more people need to check it out.
Yeah. I've heard of Petscop. Do you agree with Matt Pat's theory on that?
I do not know his theory on that.
Oh, he made a Petscop theory.
Yeah, I don't really watch Matt Pat. I used to a bunch, but I kind of fell off a while ago.
Yeah. So, is that it for the question, or do you want to continue talking about influences, or like?
If you have more questions, I'd love to answer them while I'm here.
Could you describe Moldy or Charlotte?
Um, I guess moldy. I always kind of had I was originally, um, like at the very beginning, I was like a lot of the characters were very stereotypical. I was ready to make Moldy just the most like insufferable person ever. Like just like such a terrible person. And that was kind of like the idea going into it, that she's just like a terrible person. But it's like at a certain point you're
$50,000.
yeah, I didn't even think. Okay, honestly, I did not have that. That was definitely one of the more impromptu things of the show. Was that whole like money thing with Moldy? That was not planned until literally like at the very like. I was just thinking to myself, okay, episode 5, I think should be an episode about Moldy. I want to kind of flesh her out a bit more. And I couldn't even think of anything to do, and so eventually kind of just came to the conclusion, oh, like what if she is just so like self-absorbed and prideful that she kind of like uses other people for her own benefit. And I think I did that pretty well. I like that one particular scene. I think I did a good job with it. But yeah, Moldy. I don't think I ever intended Moldy to be a super important character. Like Moldy, like I know the community loves Moldy, and I will say some of the some of the like human fan art of that is horrific. they
I'm gonna look it up right now.
they really go to town with the disgusting people fungus. But I would be careful with that.
Whatever.
Looking
It's
that
not
up.
like it's not like I'm gonna. I don't know. Whatever. It's not like I'm gonna be that. Does Moldy die? I won't put this in the video, but like just later, just like does Moldy eventually die?
Not saying anything.
Gosh darn it! I want to know this stuff. I want to know it. Alright.
You'll know.
I'll do it. I'll do it later. I'll do it later.
Mm.
All right. So I guess if we're gonna talk about Moldy, we should talk about Backpack as well. So, how could you describe Backpack?
Backpack was always the main character for me. Backpack is consistently in my mind has always been like the main character. I Another thing that I kind of wanted to be a little bugger contrarian about, um, was that like a lot of these shows don't really have like a protagonist really. It's an ensemble cast. You could like whoever you want to like, but I've always taken special attention to make Backpack, and I guess by proxy a little bit Soda Bottle, those two to be very very paramount characters, and those two characters are pretty much essential for the second season. Most of the second season will be following these two, um, and but yeah, I think Backpack specifically has always, in my mind, kind of been the one character that kind of just gets like the brunt of it, um, and has the most desire to sort of see this out and kind of solve this mystery, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Could you describe Sensi?
Senti, I think Senti is like I think Senti's a really great like representation of like if maybe like Backpack or Soda Bottle had kind of like I guess kind of like gone down another path, which I mean she literally does. Like when the teams are formed, Senti kind of gets separated from the rest of them, and for the rest, she's kind of treated as like this own separate thing. You know, like at the beginning, it's Backpack, Soda Bottle, Senti, like the three close knit, and but I think there's always been that sort of separation um, between those characters, and I guess yeah, Senti. Another funny thing about Senti was originally going to be like super duper like stereotypical, like, oh, she likes yoga, she's vegan, she's like
vegan?
no, that
Oh.
like I mean maybe I don't like it's not that's just one of those details where it's like
It's canon, guys. It's canon.
I got rid of like that detail in the show just 'cause it's not like important. Like it doesn't like make anything different or anything. And that's I guess one of the things where it's like I had a lot of details about certain characters and stuff that I just ended up leaving out because I'm like it doesn't really enhance anything really. I think a lot of the character comes from how they react to certain situations. Um but yeah, Senti was gonna be like the super stereotypical like guru type figure, but I'm kind of happy that I was able to mold it into this really like caring, nice character, selfless.
Yeah. I just want to say, next time you talk to Amy, tell her that she's a really good voice actor. Like she really.
Yeah, Aim does an amazing job with Senti and Moldy. She does a great job for both of those.
Yeah, it really fits her. All right. So, I guess who am I missing? We done Backpack, Soda Bottle, Senti, Moldy. I think that's everybody. Maybe I'm missing one person. Oh yeah, I don't think there's much here. Could you describe Tomato? Just like this.
Yeah, I think yeah. Tomato was always going to be the first one. I think and I kind of had a similar sentiment with Magazine.
There we go. That's the character I'm missing.
Yeah, because I mean I kind of boat Tomato and Magazine together because they were really there like before any of the really nasty stuff. Which was always my intention because they're also the two youngest characters.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and I didn't want to depict any of that. That seemed like a bit too much. But yeah, I think my intention for both of them was to always be these sort of like early kicks off the show or whatever. But Magazine in particular, I think, is a really good example of someone within the grand scheme of the show got pretty darn lucky. Just because of how early she got off.
Yeah. Where does she live?
And but yeah, I honestly don't remember. I don't. It's not super important. So with a lot of the, like I said, like there's a lot of details about that where I don't. I'm sure it's somewhere in some freaking old Google Doc or somewhere. But I don't know.
Right.
I'm sure somewhere.
Yeah. Where did you pull those baby noises off, by the way? Like
YouTube.com. YouTube.com. That's where a lot of my sound effects come from. I literally I'll be doing audio. It's like, oh, I need a wood crashing sound effect. Just go on YouTube, wood crash sound effect, and I just see whatever sounds nice.
Nice.
Yeah. If I if I can't make a sound effect by myself, I'll just pull it off YouTube. That's my sort of go-to.
Nice. All right, so I guess we're gonna kind of start doing the kind of like the ending stuff. Um, what is the less important questions? I guess, unless you want to add on to anything or make any other statements before we end up for that section.
Bring it on.
No, just like the important stuff, like before we get into the final few questions, which are kind of unimportant.
That's all good.
All right. So for the next few questions, we're gonna start off with 11. What is your favorite episode of the show?
My favorite episode so far, between 1 and 9, would probably be. I think as I was doing each episode, I kind of liked one like more and more each time, which I think is a really good like rule of thumb for anyone making a show. Like you should always strive to have your next one be your favorite, you know. But I think, uh, I can definitely tell you what my least favorite is.
What is it?
I'm not a super big fan of episode 2. Looking back on it, I think, and I guess this could be similar for 1, 2, and 3. They're very long. I think they're very.
Oh my gosh, those were the hardest part.
I
when I
definitely could have condensed those.
yeah, because I remember the way I got introduced to this show was my cousin said, "Hey, do you like BFDI?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I like BFDI." Well, do you like one? I've never heard of one before that because I'm not, that big on the OSC. So we played one on the big TV. We got through the first 2 episodes, and then I remember at school I was like, I'm gonna finish this series. So I finished it all, and this was the first show that had ever gave me any kind of this is the first show that gave me like legitimate goosebumps the first time I saw it, and that was in episode 6. Episode 6 is my favorite episode ever.
I really like episode 6 because that's definitely, I think, in my mind, that's definitely the most like succinctly terrifying episode. I For me personally, I would not consider one to be any sort of psychological horror, or any horror for that matter. But that was definitely a pretty spooky element, that I love making my audience freak out. That's one of my favorite things.
I remember the top comment of episode 6 was, "This isn't even an object show anymore. This is a deconstruct. This isn't even a show anymore. This is a deconstruction. This is a deconstruction of a horror in the skin of an object show."
Yeah, I think some people do take it a bit too far with like, oh, it's like insane psychological horror. I personally would think it's closer to like a sort of a drama or something like that. But I think, with starting with episode 6, it definitely gets a lot more serious. I really like episode 7. I think also another thing that I like about, the latter half of season 1 is just it just keeps deconstructing like what has been established, which I really like. I guess going back to your question, if I really had to pick a favorite episode, 6 would be up there. So honestly, I can't pick. It's either 6, 7, 8, or 9. Those 4 are kind of like equal for me. Those ones are all very near and dear to me.
Yeah. crap! I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, what does that rock say in? What does rock? What does that stone thing say in episode 7? Like, I need to know this.
Oh yeah. This isn't super plot crazy or anything, but there there's a what am I saying? Hold on, let me. Yeah, a lot of people like took it to be like something like really freaking like super deep or anything.
One person said it was you have so much to learn.
Yeah, no, that no. The I mean, it really and honestly like I don't think it matters too much. It's just it's meant to be very like ominous and creepy.
What is it? What is it?
He's what he is actually saying. I got and this doesn't actually have anything to do with like anything really, but the voice actor for Airy Diamond Cut, I got him to do that voice. And this, I would reiterate, this has nothing to do with like Airy or anything. It's just that he has a very, very good deep voice. He was the best pick for it. And so I literally just had him go, like, you think you understand, don't you? In a very ominous, scary voice. I was like, you think you understand, don't you? And then I just distorted the ever-loving crap out of it. And that's what it is. So that's, so he's just like, you think you understand, don't you? But I kind of intentionally like muddied it as much as possible to kind of obscure it, because I don't think what he says is super important. But I like all the little theories and stuff of people being like, oh my gosh, does this have some greater meaning or something? That's always great. I love when people theorize stuff like that. I think it's cool when people do like little interpretations.
In the one fan Discord, like there's this whole channel of theories, and I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but there's this whole thing of like theories, and there's this, and it's really cool, but one person like literally just wrote out like what every character's favorite song would be. I was wondering if you wanted to hear that.
What did they say?
Well, Liam likes I would say Liam stands Radiohead. Not true.
I don't freaking know. I don't know what kind of music Liam's into. I don't know. I'll say, yeah, he's into like, I don't know, say something stupid. Liam's super into freaking black metal, industrial, like, the most like heinous, like ear piercing stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. My sister needed a charger. But
You're fine.
To any wiki writers probably listening to this, that's
you know what to do. Yeah, you know what to do. Gosh, freaking people on the wiki are the wackiest freaking people ever.
Nail likes Weezer.
Nail likes
Weezer. Soda Bottle likes whatever's popular at the moment, from the radio, in the fast food place, in his car, or at the bar. Speaking of which, does Soda Bottle say the F word in episode 7? Like when he's driving and you just see him scream at his car. Like, does he say the F word? That'd be so hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, like I'm keeping it vague. If like in the show, because I mean, at the end of the day, there are a lot of kids watching it. So,
Yes, yes,
um,
yes.
yeah, but I always thought it would be kind of funny. I thought that in particular was really funny to animate. It's like, what if I just made him like almost say the F word?
Tomato would like the music box. Tomato's mom would like 90s music. Taylor would like Lemon Demon. Um, Amelia would like lo-fi, but she also stands Mitski and Madison Bear. Charlotte likes 100 Gex. And he's only saying this because of the AIM covers. And then Airy likes the one OST. Subway seat, whatever the person sitting on it listening to. Whippy Creamy says the same as soda bottle, whatever's popular. Airline food, nothing really. Just listens to artists via folder. Trey is like I feel like a female pop artists would be for Trey. Basie would be herself, and then Contact Lens would be the music The Office plays. Abstracti would like break core.
Basie is really full of herself, I guess. I'm only gonna listen to my own music.
I don't know. Texty likes nostalgic techno. Circle likes varied music. He doesn't stick to one. I think you should just does Circle like varied music? Like I guess Circle.
What does that even mean?
Like I don't know. Does he like what kind of music you would listen to would probably be what Circle would listen to. That's
I don't know. I've never subscribed to the whole like voice actors or their characters thing. Sure. Whatever.
Adam likes electron orbitals. Folder is the music distributor, so he wouldn't like anything really. Probably Parker would like something popular, but not on like the radio popular. At the SD card for whatever reason. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was the boss of Soda Bottle.
Yeah.
Screams of the innocent, and Toothpaste likes La Salade d'Anite music. I don't know how to speak French.
All right, that was interesting.
All right, so I guess our final question. Our final question. What does the HFJ in your name stand for?
Have fun, jokesters.
That's what it actually stands for.
No, it actually stands for half fried jollies.
We will never know what it stands for, guys. Just drop it. All right. So, thank you everybody for watching this interview. It was really fun talking to Cheesy. I just want to say, yeah, don't be dumb. Stay safe. If Cheesy has anything else to say.
Watch season 2. It is cool.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching this interview. If you liked it, go like this video. Make sure to go and subscribe to Cheesy. Listen to everything he's ever made. Watch everything. Watch all of Battle for Circle. All of 1. Literally, like, go to his house and hack into his files so you can get episode 2 or season 2.
Yeah.
Just
my address here. My address is 173 Arroyo Lane, San Jose, California. I forgot the zip number. 93028. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for watching. See you guys later. Bye.